It's 5-at-5 time. If your team is joint top of the Premier League on points with a game in hand, hit that like button. Yeah, it's getting a bit long-winded, but we've got to stay positive. Let's get into my 5-at-5. Number 1, the manager's change backfired. Tomiyasu had a nightmare. A mistake that led to a goal with the pass back. For the second goal, a deflection that sort of deceived Ramsdale, who probably would have saved Grealish's shot had that not deflected off of Tomiyasu. A yellow card for taking too long at a throw-in. He missed a really good chance as well that would have made up for his previous error. 70% pass completion. Bit of a nightmare day for Tomiyasu. But that's not what I really want to speak about. What I want to speak about is the reaction of the fans after he made that catastrophic error for Man City's first goal. Have a look at this video.
Super Tom! Super Tom! Super Tom! Super Tomiyasu!
I absolutely loved that from the fans yesterday at the Emirates. To see in such a massive game, such a poor error, making us go 1-0 down, and the fans responding like that really showed to me that this support is backing this team to try and achieve something unbelievable this year and try and chase the title down. Not only that with Tomiyasu, Eddie Nketiah, he missed chances yesterday, and the fans were no different with Eddie. When he missed chances, his chant went up. That, some people might laugh and be like, oh, you're soft, but you know what? That's what fans need to do to get behind the team. Sure, it didn't work yesterday. We went and lost the game, but if we can keep that sort of support up, hopefully this team can repay our faith and deliver the first league title in 19 years. Number 2, the possession from yesterday's game. That stat shocked me. When I was watching it in the stadium, it didn't feel like Arsenal had loads more possession than Man City. Because Man City scored the goals and, as a fan, your default setting is always to be kind of nervous anyway. It didn't really come across like we had as much possession as we did. I thought it was actually more 50-50. Turns out Arsenal had 64% possession to Man City's 36. But that's not the surprising thing. The really crazy thing was, in Pep Guardiola's entire top-flight managerial career, he's never had less possession than that. That was a record against Pep Guardiola. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to claim that it's important. I'm not trying to claim that Arsenal have got some possession victory. It doesn't matter. But I just find it very interesting that Arsenal were able to do what no other team has ever done before against Man City in terms of having as much of the ball. Now, why is that important? I think the reason it's important is that it shows that tactically we got it right. The reason we lost the game, and especially by 3-1, was due to sloppy mistakes and us not being clinical. But otherwise, it wasn't that far off. It's something that I think, do you know what? If we're trying to stay positive, it gives me a little bit more confidence when I think about Arsenal playing Man City at the Etihad. It will obviously be a different game, much harder when they're on their home turf, but it shows that tactically we've got the setup right and hopefully we can mix it.
Easy everybody, Ben Random here, jumping in for Mo's 5-at-5 with number 3. And for me, it's fine margins. Fine margins in all aspects of the game. Obviously, from our point, the errors that we made, they were pounced upon, took advantage of clinically. When you look back at the game, we were the better team in the first half. Second half, still felt, obviously, the pressure of playing out from the back felt like they were closing us down, but we wanted to stick with that. So that's a win for us. That's fine margins. But out of us sticking to our principle, the fine margins is against a world-class team like that, if you do slip, they will punish you. So fine margins with that. On the other side, fine margins in the chances that we had. I thought our press was decent again yesterday, but not taking chances at the crucial moment. And the one which stands out for me is Eddie's, which Tomiyasu's played across the box, and him sliding, not being able to make the most of that opportunity. We go 2-1 up at that point. Completely different game. Fine margins again. And the final fine margins that I want to put on is on the referee. If you'd have been in the ground, the atmosphere was absolutely electric, and getting that goal just before half time and ending the way that we did We were all buzzing for the second half, and then the second half, City just came out on job, like they were on it. So for us to weather that, I believe there were a couple of challenges, and it just got the crowd back into the game. Obviously, the reverse of the goal for giving offside got the crowd in the game, and it was building and building, and then the ref kept buying in to the fine dark arts that they were playing in slowing the game down, in preventing the pace of the game at certain moments, in nullifying the crowd. So again, fine margins is what my point would be, because in all those three areas, if we win those three areas, we win this game. So I don't think we got outmatched. I think we got out-finessed in all three aspects of the fine margins. But we move on to Saturday, get that win. Let's just deal with this February, man. February can get fucked, but let's deal with February. Let's get this win and keep in and around it. Because when Jesus and Smith Rowe come back into this, there is so much more options. This isn't over. Believe. Big ups, man. Peace.
Number 4, ice cold Bukayo Saka. This kid is just a killer. Let's not forget, he missed a penalty, an unbelievably important penalty for his country. And it's just brushed it off, hasn't affected him at all. He could have very easily, in such an important game against Man City, said, you know what, Jorginho's on the pitch, he's taken loads of important penalties, he's a penalty specialist, I'll just let him take it, but he didn't. Apparently even Martin Odegaard had picked up the ball at first, but Saka wanted that penalty, and the best thing about it was what you're seeing on your screen right now, Edison trying to play mind games and telling Saka where to put it. I absolutely love this. It's a story, as you can see, in 4 parts. Edison points, Saka says, all right, fine, that's where you want me to put it. I'll put it exactly there. Finishes it, ball goes in the corner, runs off and celebrates. You can't test Bukayo Saka. The kid has got ice running through his veins. Big game player. Anyone says any differently, you've got it wrong. Bukayo Saka is the man. Number 5, and I want to look at the expected goals from yesterday's game, because watching the game in the stadium, I felt like, you know what, Arsenal were really good first half, but Man City dominated the second half. And when you look at the tail of the tape, you look at the fact that we had 1.64 XG, Man City had 1.8. There wasn't that much in it. And see, I'm not sure whether I feel like I'm reading this right. So I want you to tell me in the comments what you think. Is that sort of a bit of a fake stat on this occasion? Because obviously we had the penalty, which gives us an XG of about 0.7 something. Or do you feel like actually looking at the possession, looking at the XG, it was a really, really tight game? I feel like with Arsenal chasing the game after we went 2-1 down, Man City would have racked up more expected goals, especially with that Haaland goal, because we were chasing the game and intentionally left ourselves more open at the back because we had to push forward. But actually, do you know what? I take a little bit of confidence coming out of yesterday's game that we didn't get battered. I don't think Man City are going to be thinking, yeah, we've definitely got these. We showed that we can mix it. Obviously, the most important thing now is that we have to go to Villa, no excuses, no sloppiness. We can't afford not to be clinical. It doesn't matter about possession or it doesn't matter about XG. We just need 3 points. That is crucial. But looking at this Man City game, let me know what you think. Was the scoreline fair? Did Man City really run out deserved 3-1 winners? Or did Arsenal kind of lose the game more than Man City won the game due to our sloppiness, lack of clinical finishing? Let me know your comments below, and hopefully I'll catch you after the Aston Villa game in much, much happier spirits, and we would have got 3 points back on the board for the first time in what feels like a long time. As ever, thank you very much for watching the 5 at 5. Catch you next time. If you haven't already, do hit subscribe, hit that like button, keep the faith, and hopefully Arsenal bounce back. Come on, the boys.